think it's time to blow this scene. Get everybody in the stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
Ladies and Gentiles, it is I, Dick Thunderlips, out of hibernation and into the football season. Heroes of Fantasy. Fantasy football is back. We have crowned a new champion. It's none other than Stephen Naramore. I don't know how he did it, frankly, but he did. And as a prize, he got to claim the 10,000 pounds of gold. That's right, folks. And it's more blinged out than before. Take a look a little before and after Roo. And Stephen Naramore now has the burden on his shoulder, Rooney, of defending the 10,000 pounds of gold. Will he do it? I don't think so, but he might just try, folks. And winning the Redemption Bowl somehow, some way, Jose Al, he did it. I don't know. He didn't use any powers. I don't think he did any side quests from the Professorito. He just roll bounced, stomped everyone the last 4 weeks of the year. Congratulatory to Al. He got his money back. He redeemed himself. And that's how you do it, folks, frankly. But this year kicked in to high gear before it even started with 2 new additions to the league. One, a returning vet. Aldo is back. I don't think he's ever won, but he's back, folks, and he's ready to draft and probably not pay attention after that. But welcome back to Wildcard, and hello to a new competitor straight out of Alabama. We have expanded our reach into the Southern Territories, folks. None other than Dwayne Rainey. That's So Raven, and is he here to stay? We don't know. They may call him Simple Chuck down south, but let me tell you, that boy knows how to draft and do the hoo-ha. So we'll see if he can make a dent in this Heroes of Fantasy season. And the action fast and furious, folks. Already 2 trades before the year even started, as the Chief traded with Freddie. Marquis Hollywood Brown went to Ricky G. Jamal Williams went to Alfredo, who seemed to not have RBs, and got RBs. I don't know what's going on. They just had to trade. And then Danny Boy got jealous, and he's like, I need another different tight end. I need to feel warm and fuzzy. You got too many Jaguars on my team. And that's a weird problem to have. So then he traded with Freddie, giving him, let's see, we got to review the numbers here. He gave him Juju, who's a Patriot now apparently, and Zachariah Ertz for Greg Dulich and Jonathan Omingo, folks. And we'll see how these trades pan out. Like a swap-a-roo here, tight end receiver. They both like what they got. I don't know. I hate it. But that's how they roll. I can't help it. But anywho, week 1 action already going. These teams, oh man, football. They didn't practice in the preseason with like their starters. They didn't play them in games. This new philosophy. It's not working, folks. But let's take a gandaroo at who popped off and who just pooped out, folks, in week 1. And Dick needs some new glasses so you can see what's going on. This is a rough one, folks. Let's see.
Quite a few times.
50 times?
More.
100 times?
More.
200 times?
More.
500 times?
Probably.
And old Dickie Pooh is going to struggle to read these scores because I can't see with these glasses. So forgive seeing these piercing papers as I read off some results to you. Alfredo Kalo K. Eckler, I don't know what that means. I don't speak Spanish, Freddie. Anywho, is playing Love is a Battlefields. And let me tell you, Justin Fields, Didn't do so good, but in fantasy world, in the 14 could have been worse. But Lamar Jackson with 6, oh my God, you're not going to get a bag like that, bro. Anyway, somehow, someway, despite scoring only 86, Danny Boy puts down Alfredo, who only scored 75.8. His tight end only got 0.9. The newly acquired Juju only getting 5.3. Only Amon St. Ra and Austin Eckler look like themselves. Everyone else, a pile of poop, and not much to do on the bench. Meanwhile, Danny Boy's team, cause for concern, frankly. Calvin Ridley looking good, like the stud he could be, back to being now that he's back. But man, oh man, Josh Jacobs looking like he's back to a few years ago. Irrelevant poop pile in Oakland. This could be a long year for Danny Boy, who drafted Jonathan Taylor. Yeah, that's a rough one. Anywho, on to the next match up, which is no chance in hell. C. Jizzle against Tyree Dean, who still will name his team later. And frankly, one of the few hot fantasy performances, one of the few teams that went in fuego, and in fact, the highest scoring team of week 1, C. Jizzle, put away Tyree handily. Tyree only scoring 82 with a group performance from Trevor Lawrence, who might just be a legit quarterback. And Bijan Robinson, the rookie who is him, might be him after all, scoring 17.3, but not much elsewhere. And meanwhile, CJ hitting on all cylinders like he knew what to do. Travis Etienne looking like a real RB here with 18.9. Aaron Jones slicing up the Bears. Jacoby Myers, bro, he ain't gonna do this again. I don't know what's going on. 24.6 for Oakland. And the Jets, Jets, bravely thrown in against the Buffalo Bills, dropping 22. And this guy's got 17 on the bench from Kyren Williams, folks. C. Jizzle up to his hot start. The only concern is the poo-poo of Josh Allen, only scoring 9. But hey, it's a long year. So C. Jizzle up to a 1-and-oon start for the year. And talk about getting away with one. Dwayne Rainey, folks. Simple chuckaroo. That is so Raven. Only needed 70 to get past Zachariah. Hurts so bad it's good. It hurts real bad, Zach. I don't know what in the hoo-ha happened, but somehow T. Higgins with a goose egg, and up and down the roster, just terrible performances. The only light at the end of the tunnel was Jalen Hurts' disappointing 12.5. And, Dwayne not feeling too good about some of his dudes, but hey, 70 limped across the finish line, gets in the dub, and I guess there's always hope for next week. Maybe this is Zach's bold strategy. Just shoot for the Redemption Bowl right from the start. You know what I mean? I can't see. I gotta look these back up. Anywho, right back to action. Speaking of back to action, Aldo's back. Big Zo is back, and he's back scoring 68, folks. Oh, gosh. And he got raffle stopped by Jose Valdez. Obi-Wan Mahomie with 91. He's still Obi-Wan Mahomie. He doesn't have Mahomes. Don't get confused. Dak Prescott looking like OG Tom Brady. His team raffle stopped 40-0, and yet he's only got 6 points somehow. I don't know what that means. Game manager's game, folks. Let me tell you. Defensive scores, special team scores, running scores, all the scores except for Dak Prescott's scores. That's how he do. Meanwhile, Mahomie on the other side, dropping 19, and they're L to the Lions. Don't think we're going to forget about that, folks. Meanwhile, C-Mac still getting it done for Al, his old homie. Justin Jefferson and C-Mac on the same team is going to be dangerous all year, folks. They didn't even pop off that hard, but they popped off just enough to get Al the dub, folks. Meanwhile, a gooser from Dallas Gogurt not looking good for Big Aldo in the Eagles' kind of weird week. But hey, meanwhile, moving right along, you have the derelicts, Jay Sizzle putting down Saquonda forever. The Chiefs starting off 0-1, only scoring 72, losing to a $109 of Jay Sizzle. Deshaun Watson must have got a little rubby, scoring 20 points in this 20.66 to be exact, in their root of the Cincinnati Bengals. Not sure what's wrong with those kitty cat Tigers. But frankly, if it weren't for the Cowboys making the Giants look like they were the Pee-wee Giants, folks, 36 fantasy friggin' points. 36. Oh my goodness gracious. I mean, that kind of puts in perspective Jay Sizzle's team not exactly popping off besides Derrick Henry's solid 12 and the 20 from Deshaun. 36 from the Cowboys' hot sauce performance, folks, putting down Ricky G, who also lackluster pretty much across the board besides Justin Herbert's 20.9 points as to be expected against Miami in their real-life L. But it's a long year once again as Ricky G takes the L against Jay Sizzle. And that's not the only L going around, folks, because you thought you saw some bad performances. Well, Zach was in competition here. Matt Segovia managed to put up 58.8 points, only a little more than Zach, and went down to the Oscarito, the Professorito himself, 98.16, as Oscar gets some solid performances from Stephon Diggs and Tony Pollard, and Matt just doesn't get anything. He left Kelsey in, despite him not playing. Bold move, Cotton. He left Breece Hall on the bench for some reason, the starting running back for the Jets, scoring 15 from his bench. Also another bold move. He got some life from some dudes, and then Joe Burrow, I guess, got paid and forgot how to be a QB. 3 points from Joe Burrow was pretty much the death knell for his team. And, you know, unlike this ref.
And Howell scrambling off to the left side, and bam, a big hit as he's going out of bounds.
Mathis wasn't coming back to this one, folks. Oh, boy. Anywho, Mac to the last matchup of the week. All reigning, defending champion. All Dan's fault. Stephen Nevermore lost to Adrian, baby. Adrian with the dub. Time to chase a champion. I don't know what that means. He's got 95.3, beating 88.84. And frankly, the only other close matchup besides the first one we talked about, Freddie and Danny Boy, Tua was a story here, carrying Steven in the matchup with 27, looking like dynamite. With Devon Smith and Garrett Wilson having a pulse along with the Chubba Wubba Dubba. But it just wasn't enough when you get lackluster flex performance and a lackluster Antonio Gibson performance. The Niners dropped 14, folks. But somehow, someway, the Falcons defense scored 13. So here we are as Adrian ekes it out, getting the dub. I see now he has Jamar Chase on his team. That is why his team name says Chase a Championship. But it should say something about, I'm not going to die on this hill, because Tyreek Hill scored 39 points. What in the blue flying fucks is that about, folks? Anywho, Tyreek Hill looking like a mega super stud. Adrian's running back's not looking so studly. But hey, for 1 week and 1 week only, Adrian at the top of the mountain, sort of tied for first, 1-0. And frankly, we're not going to talk about his bench, but we will. 13 from Darryl Mooney, 14 from the Bears backup running back Roshan Johnson, 16 from Romeo Dubes, and 22.9 from Tyler L. Guerrero. I don't know what happened in this Atlanta game, that they were able to sustain 2 legit running backs and pick up a dub. Are they a real team? I don't know. Maybe Carolina's just that bad. But frankly, Adrian has insane depth that he just didn't use. So I guess if he just flips these guys in, he's going to score $1 billion every week. So congratulations, Adrian. You're looking good for the year. That's it. That's all I got, folks. Remember, get your claims in. The first few weeks are huge. You got 100 fantasy buckaroos for the year, plus some left over if you didn't spend it all. Get your league dues into the Professorito, or he'll start breaking some ankles. Get some trades wheeling and dealing. It didn't work out for Ricky G and Freddie, but hey, maybe it'll work for you. And remember, when in doubt, just stare at your fantasy team. Check it over and over again. I'm sure it'll get better. Good luck, heroes of fantasy.